Yes, Ayrton Senna achieves his ambition to win.
He was designed to win. There's a phrase, designed to win.
Party in Sao Paulo tonight. I'm the happiest man in Brazil.
Everybody knows Ayrton inside the track, but few knew him outside of the track. So our job as the family was to show that side of Ayrton that nobody could see, you know.
The Senna family wanted to give you something to congratulate you on equaling Ayrton's record. It's not a replica. To you.
Making sure that the new generations get to know Ayrton's history. How important it is for you to fight for your dreams.
Niki Lauda once said that he was a man of action.
He was pushing himself to get what he wanted, no matter what the difficulty was.
Ayrton Senna is out of his car and out of this race.
Ayrton Senna goes out of the lead of the Monaco.
How do you think a Formula One driver conceives the time?
You become one, the car and yourself become one, and you lose, track of time. And I think that was almost like a mystical experience that he had.
And I was in a different dimension for me. The circuit for me was a tunnel.
Do you think Ayrton Senna had that special quality to run a car in a rainy day, in a rainy track?
Since the beginning, when he was racing in the rain, he became the rain master.
Ayrton Senna leads, and it's the Angeles in second place, the two JPS.
Any thoughts about Lando Norris or Oscar Piastri? What do you think they are as a driver?
I think they're doing a very good job. I think they are so young. It's amazing, like the pressure that they are into and how they are dealing with that, and I'm very proud.
Lando Norris, what a performance from McLaren, second and third. A very good start. Lando Norris leads. Piastri's trying to take second, but Max Verstappen around the outside. But it is Lando Norris who leads from Max Verstappen in second place.
What can you say about the connection between Ayrton Senna and the brand Tag Heuer?
They became sponsor of McLaren, and then that's where Ayrton and Tag Heuer started their partnership, and I think it's the love for racing that has never ended, right?
There's a story about tag in the motorsport. So just 1 year before Senna joined McLaren, there was a tag engine created by Porsche. Because it's really interesting how now it's Tag Heuer, but before it was Heuer by one side and Tag was from the other side, right?
You can see how Tag Heuer is a very unique brand that comes from the racing heritage in a way that no other watch brand has.
Ayrton Senna was focused on racing, but he was also compromised with the Brazilian people, and that's what you're talking about, right?
Since Ayrton died, that's when we created the foundation. He wanted to do something special for children in Brazil. He thought that he had the opportunity that few have in Brazil to develop himself and became what he became.
Hello, friends from Party TV. I'm with Bianca Senna. Bianca, how are you?
I'm good, and you? Very nice to meet you, and I'm happy to be here. I hope you like the interview.
Nice to meet you, Bianca. So, for all the people who doesn't know you yet, what can you tell the people that you're doing in the Tag Heuer brand and the world?
Well, my name is Bianca Senna. I'm the CEO of Senna Brands, the company that takes care of Ayrton Senna's brand and legacy. making sure that the new generations get to know Ayrton's history, his legacy. And one of the things that we did was launching the Netflix series last year. If you haven't seen it, please log into Netflix and have a look. It's called Senna.
And talking about the Netflix series, did you talk with Netflix for giving some facts and some memories?
Yes, it was a very, very good partnership. We worked with them for almost 3 to 4 years until we got the right screenplay. And, you know, it's interesting because everybody knows Ayrton inside the track, but few knew him outside of the track. And he has a very unique personality where, you know, in the track he was ruthless, he was, you know, like all competition.
Very competitive.
But at the same time he had these very human aspects of him, of like, for instance, when he saved Eric Omas in the middle of the qualifying session in Spa.
Senna stopped his McLaren and, spotting the danger of an imminent explosion, switched the engine off.
And, you know, he's worried about the country. So he had these two different aspects of him that became him, and he was a very unique person. So our job as the family was to show that side of Ayrton that nobody could see, you know, through YouTube videos. And it was a very nice project that we did with Netflix, because they were very open to understanding, you know, those aspects of him and making sure that that was captured in the series as well. And I think the main difference between the documentary that we did before and the Senna series is that we were able to tell the story from the beginning of, you know, where he was born to what he became.
I already knew I was born to race.
And commit to your dreams. Sometimes it's hard to commit to your dreams, right? But if it's what you want, then you know, you have to give 200%.
Eu sei que eu posso ser campeão.
He was designed to win. There's a phrase, designed to win. How can you complete that sentence?
The entire phrase is like, I'm not designed to come second or third, I'm designed to win. And I think that's something that shows his vision of his worth, but also, you know, it shows how we all worth something, you know, inside of us. And we shouldn't put it back because of a problem that you have or someone said something. That's the design to win action. I believe in myself, and I'm designed to be whatever I want to be.
Niki Lauda once said that he was a man of action. Can you tell us what a man of action means for you?
Man of action for me is someone that, you know, say no and it's not possible. It's something that doesn't come in their vocabulary, in their world. And I think that's Ayrton, you know, like his story shows that, you know, he was pushing himself to get what he wanted no matter what the difficulty was.
At the end of lap 1, Ayrton Senna is leading.
Since the beginning, you know, when he was racing in the rain, he became the rain master after, you know, losing a race, and he said, "No, I'm gonna be the best one on this." So, you know, it's about this personality of a lifestyle of never giving up on what you think is true and what you want. And I think that's a man of action mean. I think it's taking it and making it happen.
Senna, racing for only the second time for Lotus, and in just his 16th Grand Prix to date, put on a masterclass in wet weather driving.
You mentioned running in a rainy days. Do you think Ayrton Senna had that special quality to run a car in a rainy day, in a rainy track?
Not really. I think he had to learn to do that. And I think obviously he had the skills that I could try to do that as much as he did, and I wouldn't be the queen of the rain. But again, like, I think it was his commitment to, really pushing himself and trying until he got it right that made him, such special on the rain.
And also, talking about time, how do you think a Formula One driver conceives the time, and especially in the Monaco race, where he says that he missed this conception of time and he thought he was going through a tunnel. He lost the conception of time.
And I was in a different dimension for me. The circuit for me was a tunnel, which I was just going. And I realized I was well beyond my conscious understanding.
Well, he said it was such a unique experience when you become one, the car and yourself become one, and you lose, track of time. And I think that was almost like a mystical experience that he had. He was changed after that moment. I think it was a very, very unique moment in his career and in his life.
If I could ask him one question, how were you so fast? I think for me, Senna is top of the F1 greats.
All I know is that he is one of the best that's ever been in Formula One.
Maybe some people wouldn't say first, but I think there's a lot of people that would, and I'm one of them.
I think one thing that Senna knew was what it took to be a world champion.
And some recent topic, what Formula One team do you support? What Formula One team does the Senna family in general support? Which team?
Well, obviously we have a big commitment, not commitment, but a very good care for McLaren. Last year we did a very nice campaign and with them, like they made the cars and the delivery of the cars, the overalls and everything as as a tribute to Ayrton. We are very close to Zach Brown.
Any thoughts about Lando Norris or Oscar Piastri? What do you think they are as a driver?
I think they're doing a very good job. I think they are so young. It's amazing, like the pressure that they are into and how they are dealing with that, and I'm very proud. It's not an easy job.
What can you say about the connection between Ayrton Senna and the brand tag Heuer?
Everything started in '88 through a sponsorship with McLaren, and Ayrton has been a very unique person on everything that he did. He wanted to do something special, and he was very involved on all the Tag Heuer launches since the beginning. The Lynx bracelet was developed together with Ayrton, and I think that shows how precision, how innovation, how determination, the willingness to win are values that Tag Heuer and Senna share since the beginning, and I think that's why it's such an incredible partnership, such a unique and such a powerful connection that we have through the two brands.
And you talk about the moral, the values. What can you tell us about your family?
What we share as a family is this lifestyle, this driven version of, never giving up on what we believe. We are very humble. We are very determined in everything that we do. We are very resilient. And I think those values are very important for everyone. And that's why, the brand and the Ayrton's history is always talking about that, because this is something that we believe is the game changer for anything that you want to do and become successful in life, you have to have those values. And that's why we share that within the family, but also outside the family as a brand.
So it's the Senna brand and also the institution. Can you share us some differences between those brands or corporations? Or
Yeah, so there are two separate corporations, the Senna brands, which takes care of Ayrton's image, and the Senna brand and the Senna cartoon, which is our cartoon in Brazil. How we use Ayrton's image and the brand to make collaborations such as with Heuer to create products that are unique and that are symbols of the inspiration that he had, which is basically, fighting for your dreams and never giving up.
And now that you mentioned that he was very human, there's a small scene in the Netflix series that he's talking with Alain Prost, one of his biggest rivals, but he was a teammate also. And he was talking with Alain Prost, saying, come back to the track. And he was talking about this institute. He was talking about this idea.
The Institute is focused on education. We have been working for 32 years now. Since Ayrton died, that's when we created the foundation. He wanted to do something special for children in Brazil. He thought that he had the opportunity that few have in Brazil to develop himself and became what he became. And he wanted to give that opportunity to others in Brazil. And he said he wanted to do that for children. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to open the foundation by himself. It was in '94. And we decided to open the foundation on the same year. And since then, we have been working with public education. So what we do is 90% of the children in Brazil are in public schools. And unfortunately, the public school system is really bad. It doesn't work. So what we do is we create almost like vaccines that can be applied in the schools in Brazil. So from the Secretary of Education up to the children, we train everyone. We create KPIs. We make sure that they have the tools to make the children learn throughout the year, and then we measure those results every year. So with that, we made the impact of 36 million children in Brazil since the beginning of the foundation, and yearly it's about 3 to 4 million children that are reached through our programs.
And education in general is not related to motorsport?
No, it's education in general, and we look at the children in two aspects: the rational, which is like Portuguese, math, and everything that we learn at school, but also from the point of view of social emotional skills, which are the values that we were talking about earlier, and also openness to the new, creativity, motivation, and all of those social emotional skills that are the soft skills that we need to have to actually be successful in life. So that's how we approach. And then part of the revenue generated from the Senna brand and the Ayrton Senna image goes to fund the foundation.
What memories do you have of Ayrton Senna being so human and a great person?
My grandmother told me this story that when he was young, like children, maybe 10 years old or something, they will go in the street, like walking to go to somewhere, like to a shop or something. And if he saw someone in the street, like a homeless, he would be very impacted by that. And he would make my grandmother buy a clothes or something or a food or something for that homeless. So I think that's something that he was born with, that empathy, that was something from him. And I think it showed in many ways, like Joseph Leberer, the guy that trained him back in McLaren. He has many stories about that, like first time that Joseph was in Brazil for the Brazilian Grand Prix, his first year in Formula 1 in McLaren. Ayrton called him to see what he was going to do, he was in Brazil, he wasn't expecting Ayrton to call, and so he invited him to go to his house and everything. So I think it shows how humble and how empathic Ayrton was. I think that's something that comes with you.
Yeah. Do you think this is the education that the Senna family has given to him, or it's just particular from?
I think is both, but definitely he had more than what you learn. You know, I think that's something you can see, especially for the children. Like before the foundation, he would do a lot of donations that he didn't want anybody to know, you know, like, so it was like all private about that, but he really was trying to help as much as he could. And he was the one, you know, asking my mother to think about how he could help properly, you know, Brazil. And then unfortunately, they didn't have the chance to speak, but then we decided to do the foundation anyway.
And Bianca, talking about yourself, what's the main message that you're spreading in all your trips, in all your campaigns, with the Senna brand and with the Senna Institute? How would you make a summary of the message that you're spreading in every trip, in every conversation that you have with the people?
I think that's the message of the brand, which is seeking your truth. Like, seek your truth means learning what is your inner power, learning. Everybody comes with this, not a skill, but a calling. And I think the message about the brand and what our family wants to spread the word is that find what is your inner power, find your calling, make something with that, because this is your powerhouse. This is what you are made to be, and that's where, you know, you should be fighting and working on your life.
That's great.
In the end, what matters is to do it the way you like to do, the way you believe is right. And you have to be positive, you have to be strong, psychologically speaking. Very, very tough, very, very strong to go through the doubts and knockdowns and kind of war that goes on sometimes. To be tough and go through it and make sure you get to the other end of the tunnel.
And Bianca, a final message to all the people talking about the brand, yourself. Invite them to see the TAG Heuer campaign, the Senna Brand, Senna Institute. What's your message, Bianca?
Well, follow us on social media. It's senna.global and senna.brazil. And keep reaching out to us on our social media. I think that's the best place to see what we are going to do. And obviously, you know, keep following the campaign, our Design to Win campaign, which we are doing with TAG Heuer. We have some launches coming up that I cannot talk about now, but, you know, like, there's a lot to come.
Bianca, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.